There are also geostrategic issues here and implications, and I want to share with you something that our former Prime Minister Tony Abbott said in London this week. He asked the question, actually, should cutting emissions remain the world's highest priority when it has the practical effect of making the democracies relatively weaker and the dictatorships relatively stronger? This is the reality, isn't it? Our climate policies hurt us, but they're helping China and Russia.
Well, they're hurting us and they're not helping the planet. And they're, as you said, they're destabilizing the supply chains and the world order. I mean, it's absolutely and utterly preposterous. And it's time for centrist liberals and conservatives to take the moral upper hand away from the environmental radicals.
Tell me, as a psychologist, tell me about what's going on here when it comes to group behaviour. There's, on one hand, it seems like a doomsday cult overtaking large parts of the world. On the other hand, there's this sort of virtue signalling sanctimony where people are pretending that they're saving the planet.
Well, I don't think you also want to underestimate the degree to which venal and narcissistic political types who are cowards tend to govern purely by the whim of the public, as sampled by half-wit opinion polls. I mean, we know in Canada, for example, that the COVID lockdowns and the travel bans were almost implemented entirely on the basis of opinion polls and then blamed on the science. And the same thing is exactly happening on the environmental front. People are rightly concerned about environmental sustainability, and politicians who are in it for the narcissism and who are not very well informed are willing to pander to the worst fears of the populists, and that's not what a representative democracy is supposed to do. You know, we are able to innovate faster than we are consuming. So Marion Tupy, in his new book, Superabundance, has calculated that every baby born now will produce 7 times as many resources as they will consume. And you might think, well, that's preposterous. It's like, no, it's not. Since I was a kid, we've doubled the planet's population, and everyone is way richer. And the globalist apocalyptic utopians say, well, that's not sustainable. It's like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to kill off 2 billion people because you think there's too many people on the planet? And you don't think that's reprehensible beyond comprehension?